Wow. All right. What I'm going to talk to you today about is facing your fears. Today is Friday, May 17th, 2024. I am coming to you from Salta, Argentina, South America. Okay? And I'm in a new place today. I'll be in a new place tomorrow. I keep it moving. It is a lifestyle choice. I like to lift heavy. I like to keep myself forced to take constant inventory of everything that I'm doing and everything that I have in my specialized set of tools that I carry with me. And I bring new types of value to new types of cultures. Einstein says that adaptation is the best measure of intelligence. Well, I tell you what, you live how I live, and you have a very refined ability to adapt. You can talk to people, you can operate under pressure, your back is against the wall. You have to make money in a new place, you have to get fit in a new place, you gotta go to a new gym and murder and show everybody what can be done, what's possible in the world. I make content, I'm on a Zoom call with international guys. My idea is to do as much in my day as some other punk does in his week. And then in a week, I'm a month and a half ahead of him, right? And if you stack a few years together like that, which I'm just beginning 1 year in now on dedicated personal development from the books, right? I did a dedicated personal development between me and God over a 7-year period. 5 of those years were in the jungle, in a cabin and in a cave, in the jungles of Costa Rica and also in Colombia, where I met the most incredible cultivators of incredible nutrition and ate like a king, but stayed to myself. And every now and then would do a backhoe job for where the backhoe doesn't go. And people would just leave me alone, and they would give me a stack of shovels and call me the shovel punisher in my back. And but everybody loved me, and you know, one of the farms actually took on students from all over the world, and even Tom Brokaw's kids were there. Anyway, while I was there, and some of the students would inquire about me, and they would just be like, "We'll leave him alone." And some of the students had the balls to just come talk to me, and they were always the most special ones, you know. And I still remember them. And I remember one of their girlfriends coming and saying, "You know, he really, really likes you. I just want to let you, you know," because she really loved her boyfriend, and she really wanted to enhance his experience there. Anyway, yeah, so it was a very magical experience inside of a nightmare that I would wish on no person, and which I'm officially no longer talking about ever. And but you know, we all have fingerprints, and we all will go through our hardships, and some of those will turn into real deal spiritual warfare in another dimension, where you could come out of that explaining things and sound very, very crazy. Okay, so I don't talk too much about my time out in nature, but I learned a lot. As Einstein says, pay attention to nature and you understand everything better. You know, when I had several tragedies happen to me all at once, I became very, very angry. And I didn't want to donate anger and hate to the world, so I isolated myself. And even when I thought that I was no longer angry and I was well composed, people would pull me aside that loved me and say, "Hey man, we love you, but we can feel that you want to tear all our heads off." I was like, "No, I don't though. We were just laughing, you know." And then, all right, back to isolation, right? And get my shit right. And throughout that entire time, I had a 2:30 a.m. wake up. I had come to an internet cafe and found this Wes Watson video, just I don't know how, and he was living with his grandparents, absolutely no fathers. I sent that video to everyone I know, and I incorporated a few things from that video, definitely the 2:30 a.m. wake up time. So back out into isolation for years, and it was hellacious, man. Like I would come back into society and right away I would fall to escapism, you know, to just escape the pain. I couldn't look at the options that the cancerous city space shuttle image of a city looks exactly like microscopic image of cancer, right? It's the same structure. This is where we get all our toxic, and you know, so that's a big thing, you know. If you're really in a serious next level spiritual warfare, and you're not incarcerated, I would say before you get incarcerated, get yourself out to nature, right? And really make a play on self-development over a long period of time. What happened with me when I did this too is each time I would come back to civilization, I ended up becoming a people pleaser. This is something I had been in a couple short chapters before in my life. You know, my mother locked me up from 7 to 15 about to get a check off of my head and not have to do her job. And I would break out tons, and I would get out in various ways tons of times and have a few adventures, but unfortunately most of that. Anyway, let's just moving right along. So I forgot where I was going now. I forgot a lot from that chapter, right? Because they were just fucking throwing cups of pills down our throats and then drug testing us to make sure we weren't throating them and shooting us. It was crazy. It's insane that this is allowed to happen to any kid. All these places are knocked down now. Suicidal Tendencies sang about this, I think, at a small part, but I haven't heard about these treatment centers, kiddie jail places even being available in that way anymore. You know what I mean? You've got to do a crime to get freaking housed now. But back then, your parents could sign, and there was even a check for them. They would get a check, a beneficiary check, and the hospital would get a check, and you would be like a fucking money farm for those two parties. And there was the kids that came, and then I'm flipping houses in Philly, and Kids for Cash, that's a documentary situation is going on the news. I was just like, dude, this happened to us, but we didn't even get it. And half these fucking motherfuckers are still in the system today. You know, they're still locked in a box today, from little kid till now. I mean, it's just fucked up that we do this to human beings, and I just pisses me off. But anyway, so what would happen is I would turn into a people pleaser and be extremely nice just because I didn't really want to contribute hate to society and have a reputation as a monster. And I got pretty monstrous with some people more times than I care to inventory. But that's the main thing here, is that you do that inventory, that you do make amends, that you do at least write a message, and not everyone will accept it. You know, when you're in monster mode, when you fail to be your highest self, there's a lot of regretful things, and just going back and addressing them and being that stand-up person means a lot. You know, it means a lot for you, it means a lot for them. And I've had to forgive, you know, there are 2 child abusers in my immediate scope of, that are affecting people that I love. And, you know, to forgive that, and a whole bunch of flying monkeys that help them under this liar story. It's a very, very textbook dynamic that can be read, and scientists have. And I even sent all the scientists, the doctors, the professionals, the specialists, the scientific specialists on this issue to the abuser, and she knew all the damages it would do to the kid. They don't care, just as Amber Heard, okay? So, and they will lie to their dying deathbed. They will never tell the truth. They will never. I haven't seen one. I've seen a lot of people take on they'll tell the truth way back when, and then they'll just keep lying, even though they did tell the truth way back when, you know. But another one will help them by throwing that handwritten truth away or something. It's crazy the way that it is. Kia Carlberg, anti-narcissism.org. That is worth the read. You can save lives with that information. So, but what I wanted to talk about today is, you know, I had no choice but to kick air conditioners out of the side of buildings, jump down into pyracantha bushes, pry myself out, bleeding everywhere, jump 10 walls at 13, hide in backyards as cop cars are cruising and then waiting, never be too found by the family or the dog or the fucking cop or whatever, right? And you just really pick up a lot of skills fast. And I traveled the entire country because I was just getting as far away as possible from this mess. And I was already making $1,300 to $1,300 a day as a 13-year-old with a fake ID saying that I was 16, and so I've been able to pull off just like amazingly incredible things because of this adversity, right? And I'm coming into a world now where I'm just seeing people have a different reaction. They're not becoming amazing people in the face of this adversity. They're becoming part of the problem. They can't beat it, so they join it. They can't stay hard, stay true, and stay honest, stay conform to the things. So now we're getting overpopulated by losers. You know what I'm saying? We're losing to the losers just by the sheer fact of their zero moral code. They'll do anything, and we won't. And they know that. And they're not gonna get going on somebody who's not noble. You know what I mean? This is definitely an opposites attract thing. You know what I mean? And those negatives are after those positives, man. They're not trying to get into it with each other so much. They back each other up. And that's the whole problem. That's why we're losing to the losers. That's why we're losing by numbers. It's because they're well organized and any kind of control freak, there's a slimy dynamic that they've got a real good hold on as far as behavior patterns goes, which are recognizable, but these people are masters of execution on these functional pattern behaviors that back deception, and so these people are literally following the prince of deception straight to hell. And without them, you can't really find any kind of knighthood. What do you really overcome it? So they are providing, in a seed test, as a cultivator, understand this, in a seed test, they are providing the adversity for you to overcome and become valiant. Get the respect from the angels as we find out which of these seeds is not worth planting in the next life, and we let those drop into hell, depending on, if you study the amount of near-death experience investigations and the people who have done huge case study combination investigation thoroughly and have concluded that there is no way that these people are all seeing the same shit in different languages on different sides of the world and just echo chambering out this thing, There's been lie detector tests involved, and these technologies are going to get better. By the time a lot of you 40-year-olds right now are 60, there's going to be a lie detector test that's going to be cheap and effective in 99%. So whatever lies you're sticking to, you're just really digging your hole. But do you know who already has that readout on you? The spiritual side. They already can just look at you and know what you're comprised of. I know because when my kid was kidnapped by a fucking nut, okay, and now has Elizabeth Warren syndrome, I sunk to the evil side of toxicity and freaking escapism and not living the truth, not living the congruency of what I'm supposed to be, but living some other bullshit thing, and I had to pull myself out of that hole of demons. And a lot of people have made themselves comfortable in that hole of demons. A lot of people who only know Jerry Springer land just hang out in Jerry Springer land, maybe at the top of it, and with a smile. And that shit's sad to see, you know what I mean? And it's just like, there's a whole world out there. And that's what I'm trying to show with my movement and my inventory. There's a whole world out there. You can literally be in a new place every day. You can figure this thing out. This is not a time to step down. This is a time to step up, okay? This is a time to put more on. The cold showers throughout the day has been a big key. My pee-fee. Every time I use the restroom, I do some burpees. I don't let myself use the restroom until I've already done the burpees. And many times if I'm home, I'll just go ahead and do the burpees, do the cold shower, right? And just keep my day rocking and rolling and on high. Why would you not use these tools? Why would you just skip that and not have the most not do those things you don't want to do. The magic is in the work you don't want to do that will propel your day to be much more productive, much more magical. And please understand the frequency chart. You can look it up. Please understand that when you're in a creative space and you're constantly creating and cultivating towards your purpose and dream, you're really not in that toxic, destructive, control freak space. If you find yourself jealous, envious, well, I have a list here. Judgmental, all these things the Bible says, right? If you find yourself in denial, avoidance of deep reflection, denial flaws or mistakes, fear of facing one's own imperfections can cause denial instead of acknowledging and learning from mistakes or doing the work that you don't want to do to get to where the real trophy is, just like in another video game. Rationalization, overemphasis on negatives, resistance to change, projection, obsessive reflection, selective memory, and even implanted false memory. Right? In the deeper layers of spiritual battle and warfare. Listen, so old school gym killers and the International Winners Club, which is in every gym, in every city, in every rural location, the first hour that it's open, and the way that you open this door takes an entire month. Every day for 30 days, you go that hour and you murder. And you then, 10 days in, you don't say nothing for your first 10 days. And then 10 days in, and just kill. 20 days after that, you start talking to everybody in there. And you focus on what car they're driving. You focus on what they're wearing. Yes, you do. You calculate everything. Okay? There's no limits to what you need to investigate, what you need to add up. You do not know everything. If you think you do, that's a closed position that cannot receive. Okay, your brain is connected to your eyeballs. It is a receptor. It is a receiving device. You have 1, 2, 3, and also your nerve system goes out to your senses 4. Okay. You have 1 transmission device and you have 5 or reception sensory devices. Pay attention to that. You should be receiving much more than you should be giving until you have been receiving for long enough in such a dedicated action. And from a fucking message from God that it's actually time for you to talk. When I made 300 videos, explain almost a video a day, trying to shout the truth at a kid who'd been brainwashed for 365 days a year over a decade. Which is why I felt it would be appropriate to do that. When I was doing that, it was screaming at me to do it. Like God was screaming at me to do it. Just give your truth. Now that I have done it, I feel a world better because I answered that call. And I'm someone also that in my bones, I'm just going to tell the truth. I'm not going to think 2 seconds about it. I'm either not going to say anything or I'm going to say the truth, but I'm definitely not going to say a lie, especially not with stuff like this. I may smoke screen people. Okay, I might tell you in my apartment in the hood, see, this is James Bond training all over this, right? If I'm in the hood, I might be like, yeah, I'm going to a movie when I'm just going to the store, and I'm just going to the store when I'm actually going to a movie. Because if I tell them I'm going to a movie and I just go to the store and come back real quick, I'll catch them in the act of trying to rob my shit. I actually played that on somebody and they hid in the bathroom and I said, drop everything you got and just run out my door, and then that's all that's going to happen. And they did, right? Anyway, I got distracted there. What I'm trying to say is I will smoke stream people. I will run fucking James Bond circles around a motherfucker. I've been doing this for a long time. I just told you when I started. You know what I'm saying? So don't try to run game on me. You will quickly see the most honest cat in the world just run your pants off you and sell them back to you at your own will and up if you don't like, I'm just playing. But so here's the deal, and I've taken on a complete, after the violence that I've witnessed over the last decade, violence makes me sick. I am completely against violence of all types and forms, not just physical, not with a gun and knife. Some of these real incredible people that have been the cause of wars and shit that were unnecessary for their own personal gain, well, there's a 25-cent solution for them. It's called a bullet. So, at a certain degree, this is a dynamic situation. And I do believe that conferring with a diverse group, that every lobo in the pack should be consulted before the attack goes down, so that we're all prepared, and we all know what's going on, and we've all been giving that decent amount of respect and camaraderie that that has us all fucking operating much more at a higher level, So, this team building thing is necessary. That's why I do the all-in group. I'm open to doing more groups, and I'm very interested in building a dynamic wave of goodness and godness, both in message and in creative construction, to where we can kick off something new, something innovative. I would like, we have voodoobreaker.com, and this is abstract, but I have several abstract things written about how we could deploy Rudolf Steiner's biodynamic farming worldwide as a team. And, I would like to propose this to the TRW Council as well. And maybe it's in this video, right now I'm definitely just on a 100%, a 1000%, helicopter gunning mission, raid, fly over, light it up. I just keep beating this drum and doing my repetitions to get good at video presentation, to get good at oration, to follow in the footsteps of Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, as far as caring enough to make a well-crafted message that's applicable and can affect change and can affect inspiration and motivation for young people who have been held back. And that's everybody. And that's, again, what I was talking about before in the last video, actually, is that we need to really take on that we are all products of our environment to a certain degree, and we can start to decide to really focus in on what our environment is and make a good choices and good decisions and good elections of which environments we will be in, as far as people and places and income brackets. These are actually really decisions of application, nothing less, nothing more, nothing to it but to do it. And we do need to, in that, realize that we have been bombarded through our culture with these control freak messages that are not positive for our growth, that hold us back quite a bit. I don't give a shit what's cool. In fact, if you only do things or not do things because of what's cool, I don't want to know you. You are a tool, is really what you are, of whatever kind of program. And you will remain in a selfish place to where you couldn't even come on camera and make an honest message because you're still placating to the absolute low level, false, ridiculously dumb, ridiculously debaucherous and non-promotional of any kind of high IQ society, culture, especially in the youth sector, that we have unfortunately received without too much fight. When I got to Philadelphia, I tell this story all the time. I pulled two young men over and I said, this cannot be your culture. There's no way. There's a Foot Locker in New Mexico and the t-shirts in there are not specially cut dresses, and no one is, with their pants buckled right around their thighs right here, wearing this specially made dresses, bright red shoes, bright red hair. I mean, it's just, there's no way. And then they immediately changed their address. And I'll tell you, the reason that happened is because they respected me. The reason that happened is they saw me working early in the morning, building houses in that area, and taking the time to tell kids how I was doing it, to how to build their credit. I even got the bank to issue a lower cost secured credit card so they could start doing them. I got 10 of them to put their names on an LLC to start moving together and start operating together, but they just can't. Anyway, but this is what we need to do. I can see, and it's the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing. That's why most of these successful guys are just solo cholos, you know, they're on their own. Once you dilute the power too much, you know, that's, you have to have a 5-point star. Everybody's got to be just as tough as you, you know. I have a lot of hope for my current crew, but I'm not stopping if that doesn't work out, you know what I mean? I want to be a part of the metaphysical revolution, the spiritual revolution, the fight on God's side for what's right and what's good. And you know, there's no more bigger a need that has ever been more clear in my entire life. And so I see this, and I have to stand up if I have any of this nobility or valiance that I keep talking about. And getting my wings in Valhalla is all I care about, you know. And I'm just I'm not a Nordic. Listen, you know, the only thing from that part, I will tell you that Rudolf Steiner's biodynamic agriculture, if it could be deployed worldwide, that is something special right there, okay? And we can really turn the wheels on this, you know, because we're all gonna have an excellent food supply. Now, I know there needs to be a technological, but you know, at some point, I think technology just sort of, you know, at some point, you know, this is a big planet, man. There's lots of rivers. You know, we just need to get far away from what there is here today that's in all this conflict and mud, and do something new, and hydropower it, you know, and Starlink it up, and start to live in harmony with nature, and have a relationship with nature, and start to cultivate some of the most amazing nature ever cultivated before. And I have 10 years of expertise in this. I'm ready to go. If you go to nutritionaldiversity.com, I've got a ton on this. And drones can be used for this. Jobs can be provided for this. If we are cultivating the best of foods from the best sourcing, guess what? We're selling right to the rich. We are now teammates with the rich, and as much as we can convert them mentally, because if they know about this food, this is what they want to eat, and they will pay. And we have that connection with them. So what I'm also introducing is a poor person system. That's not to take away the number one educational platform out here that I would recommend, the number one street that I would recommend to a young person, for the reason that they have their independence. They have their independence to make whatever artistic expression they want, and they don't need to feel controlled or be controlled. They are not controlled because they did an independent business of their own. So the real world, guys, university.com, 1000%. Okay, is the best avenue for a young person to take right now. Stop being a fucking hater and get behind the real, true people you should be seriously thankful for. And we can't let them go down, and we gotta get Julian Assange out too, you know what I mean? And Snowden should have safe haven. I mean, there's technology. Listen, right now, these atrocities and slave implementations are all on us. They're all on us. You know what I mean? Everybody had the support Ukraine. We're finding out that was all a lie. What was the crackhead doing there in 2017? I mean, put it together, folks. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, everybody had that flag. Who? Julian Assange, by every account of every person that knows of this guy, has nothing but beautiful things to say about him. Yet we let him get caught up on the same thing they tried to get the Tates caught up, but they brilliantly insulated them with all this power, and network. And now it's really time, and I think, to make them proud and to honor what has happened here, and every other pioneer like them, we need to give our support to these people who have already given the value, and we need to be sensible, and we need to be real, and we need to get off the toxins and off the pharmaceuticals included, and we need to get into nature. We need to get into physical activities that cannot be skipped. That's where your self-confidence starts. And if you actually become the true thing that you want to become, which is the respectable, valiant, best version of yourself, man, now your artistic expression is so valuable to the next guy. You know what I mean? Now you become your best, you can help the rest, and I mean, that really happens. You know what I mean? And then you got a life. I'm not saying I'm smoking it, but you've seen over the last year on my Instagram, on this channel, some people on another channel. I don't have a lot of followers right now. Me in a different hotel, different apartment, all over in different countries, in different cities, every week for the last couple of years. That's adapting. That's challenging. That's keeping it moving. That's super geographical diversity, nutritional diversity. I got a smart thing going on. I'm coaching people. I'm bringing people into the tribe all the rest of 2024 for free. I will tell you the truth. No problem. Hit me in my Instagram messenger, Brandon Angel Fitness at Instagram, and I will tell you what I think about anything. That's not a problem. That doesn't take too much time. If it really stacks up on me, sometimes it takes me 3 days to get back to people. But hey, listen, I will get back to you for sure. Me personally, no bot, no secretary, whatever. I will draw my own lines of organics, and you can draw your own too, and that's fine. And we will be let live people against the control freaks, and we will boost each other up now, and we will balance, calculated, surgically usher out our time that we can donate to other people, and usher in time from other people that they can donate to us, and manage time inside of ourselves, where we can now build online businesses through the real world, okay? And sure, there's some other guys out there. What I'm saying is get your computer skills, get your laptop, get set up, get organized, get down with the burpees, get down with the PFE, get down with all these things, a gym session every day, become your best so that you can set the example to the rest, so that you're ready to run 10 miles and you're strong enough to pick the woman out of the river when you get the call from the rural farm that hopefully you will be on someday, in harmony with nature, with the best spread of food and the highest quality of life. And I can take you to living examples that love me right now, that I've been across for the last 10 years in Central and South America. And you will eat the best foods, and you will feel like you are flying, and you will do your kung fu and whole new speeds and accuracy on fluid. I mean, it's just amazing what happens. Hair growth, fingernail growth. The worst part of it is maybe a little bit pheromone growth, but hey, beast. Who we, in the old school gym killers, when you find them everywhere personally, we have the ability to come together as a team. Through me, through you, through the Tates, for sure. For 9 months, I sat in that university just paying the $50 and not even using it. I was gonna give it to another kid. But just because I want to support what they're doing, I want to put my thing into these guys who have already given value so immensely on the front end. One of a kind story, chess player dad, the dynamic with cousin Luke, and just the count. So, you know, maybe this is the one that I send in. I'm liking it. I'm liking the aesthetics. It looks half decent. I'm being pretty quite real, you know, and what I would like to put the cherry on the top of this guy right here, because I gotta get on to the next, is the matrix jump, the fearless, the embracing of the unknown. Okay, you are not going to get to your level, your next level, doing what you can do. You're going to get to your next level doing what you cannot do. You need to be building new ability, pushing that limit. Diamond in nature is built from diverse adversity. It's built the same way in you. Diverse overcoming of adversity. Don't join them because you can't beat them. Beat them. There's not another option. You just stay there until you do. It doesn't matter if it takes years. You know what it is, because it's a connected destiny call. And if you're not receiving it, it's clearly because of toxic substances or toxic people, which are way more dangerous in your life because they can manipulate you. If you have toxic substance or toxic people in your life, you need to isolate yourself. You need to go on a solo mission. You need to make a geographical change. You can wait tables in another city. You've got a good reference. You've got a good experience. If you need to make a geographical change for whatever reason, you'll have coworkers that will speak for your abilities in whatever field, and you can just switch out there. Maybe that even establishment has another location to where you can just get on your own. Do your job, but work on yourself more. And eventually, you want to work away from working from another person. That's a high school age thing in a properly constructed society. You know what I'm saying? Some of these buzzbeat jobs, that's what you do when you're 12 to 18. You know what I mean? And then you start stepping it up. And a constructively creative and advanced society is going to really want to push you with hard truths. Okay, to be your best and put you to the test and see where you naturally excel and get you into that position and support you in every single way that they can, and with no control freakism. They want to see what you want to do. They just want to see you win. They have no interest in controlling it or demanding the specific outcome. You know what I'm saying? You need to get around a higher mind if they're not letting you live however you need to want. And that's, again, isolate, self-development, start moving towards making yourself an independent business, because an independent business has no limits of income, where a job always has limits of income. In 10 years, if you do not move on from that job, you'll still be in that job and you'll be making a little bit more than you're making today. That's not okay. That you are going to fall into the slave unhappy class. And listen, man, if you're such a gladiator, gladiators get results in whatever way. Providing value to another rich person and being a part of that team, you know, is one of the most highly recommended ways as far as I'm concerned. You know, if you're poor, if you're stuck in a bad situation, you need to put your sights on providing real, genuine, honest value over time to someone who has the resources to actually help you. You know, pay into mentorship, make extra sacrifice, suffer greatly, and God will reward you. Have that faith. I know that it's the truth. And I really appreciate everyone who said it before me, such as Andrew, such as Tristan, such as Lucky Luke, such as Mr. Watson, Bradley, Beto Skater, the Anti-Alienation Project, now Teal Swan. I'm gonna start mentioning some of these names in every video. These are underdogs, but real, you know, not everybody. There are some gems out there that don't have big followings yet, and that's the perfect opportunity. All challenges are opportunities to build strength And then there's strategic challenges, and there's strategic challenges that you can impose on yourself in your own self-crafted James Bond or James Bondette movements to get yourself in with the winners club. You get it? That is where you need to be, and you will be the sum of your surroundings. So if you're looking left and you're looking right and you're looking at this Jerry Springer show that's been spread from the TV to every single direction, or whatever variation degree of descriptive thing for lesser beings that are out of shape, not doing well economically, talking like they know everything when they don't, speaking on subjects they shouldn't be speaking on with crazy, outrageous passion that you just can't even back up at all, lying, intentionally deceiving, intentionally doing bad things. If you're around any of this, you're not going to get ahead. You have to cut those bags so that the balloon rises. All right, it's super important. A lot of people are stuck there. It took me a long time to learn that, especially because I had such tight bonds with such good people, but that had fallen into doing bad stuff. You know, you are going to be a product of your own intention or circumstance. I can walk by you and see a big fat guy with stuff on his shirt and say, well, that's a product of circumstance. He just took it, what was given to him and what was showed to him, and that's unfortunate that he is just this hollow shell of his, echo chamber of circumstance, where a person who walks by me with muscles, they're in good shape, they're well put together, they're doing things, they're providing value out in the world. This person is a product of intention, and good intention at that. So I can't pray enough for the anyone who might cosmically watch this, because I don't have a lot of following, that we just non-judgmentally, we no longer see anyone as competition. The deepest form of competition is when you want that person to win, right? When you're pushing someone else to win. Like, I want to show somebody something and then have them beat me at it. I want somebody to show me something and then me beat them at it. And I want to be the product of divine intention. I want to earn the respect of the angels in heaven. I want my wings, man. I just want to show God. That's all. I love good people. I appreciate them so much. I love the beauty in the world, and I want to fight for it. You know, that's how much I love it. I love all people, and I see a lot of people that could be doing so much better, and I am called to give them the hard truths and a hard way to jolt their mind so that they can consider these new options and not just take the circumstances in which they've been shoveled, you know. And these circumstances are getting worse, guys. Agriculture plans are getting way worse, guys. You know what I mean? I think the TRW Council, to be honest, this probably does get sent in, or some clips from it, is the perfect deployment mechanism for worldwide agricultural change. You know what I mean? And we could really start to make a massive culture of self-cultivation and new community cultivations and seed collecting and plant nurturing and computerized monitoration of this kind of stuff, job provisions and this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? If you can organize some guys, I do this in Panama right now. If you can organize, and I'm in Argentina all over the world, right? But if you can organize, and my network is building, we're doing more farms all over South America and Central America. If you want to do a farm here, I'll manage it for you. I'll set it all up, and you'll slowly but surely be growing. And if you're cultivating the best beef, the best goat, the best bison, the best elk, the best deer, the best, you know what I'm saying? You have that variety, and you're working within the nutritionaldiversity.com system, which is the best written system to date, and incorporates the Rudolf Steiner, the Bill Mollison, the Scott Pittman, I can go on and on and on. The Permies Collective, you know what I mean? I've been published in the United Nations Food and Agriculture journals. Poverty nexus meets climate change agenda. That was what the United Nations submitted to the Paris Agreement. You'll see my name right on the front of that. I've published Nutritional Diversities in Abstract. You can look up Nutritional Diversity Abstract of All Natural Human Optimization on Amazon. I have written a plethora of contributions to other nature developments, and I have a lot of respect in the region. I changed northern New Mexico farming over the last decade in bulk, like the entire, just several provinces in Mexico have now adopted this situation, and it's constantly evolving. The science is really in its infancy as far as potential. If you're going to give a correct evaluation of the potential that's there. We're just at the very bottom right now, and we haven't even caught up to remnants of ancient systems that we found. But I work with some of the best cultivators in the region, indigenous Colombian cultivators, and she's got another 40 years of life left because she's so healthy and she's old school and she's my partner. And so anyway, I have farms all across Colombia. I have farms all across Panama. I have farms in Costa Rica, and I am working on farms right now here in Argentina. I have a farm in Peru that I work with, and these are all using these systems, and I will take you there and you will feel like $1 million, and I can put you on the phone with 50 people that I've already taken there, and they can tell you that it felt like $1 million. I'm trying to work out how to work this system into an actual driving. I live a good life, but I just don't have huge investment capital. Whatever, you just do what you do, and you do it with all you got. You give all you got, and then you hit that pillow, you hit that deathbed, knowing that you did everything you did. And listen, your droplet in the lake has ripples that you will never know the effects of. But if you have good intentions and you're working every day, all day long, congruently, you'll get to the other side and they'll show you. Look, what you actually did had all these nuclear effects. And that goes for doing the karmatically wrong things too, ladies and gentlemen. So I plead with you, the world needs you to become your best, help the rest, set the best example, be successful, off balance the huge stacks of capital in the hands of the evil, right? And start drawing some in. We need the best of the best of the best to start getting their power up in all meters across the entire board. And I love you. I love you and I need you. And so does the whole world now that these things are going on. So let's bring it together. Anything that causes connectivity is of a divine nature. Anything that causes separation is a little bit off, right? And we've got enough of that. Hua. In Bill Mullison's mighty observation of nature, as well as Stephen Herod Bonner's and Michael Pollan's, and Rudolf Steiner, like anyone who's paid a significant amount of attention to nature and what nature needs and how nature operates, the most infinitely running system that we've got that's been going for billions and billions of years, everything should be addressing two or more purposes. Right? Now, while I will tell you, monofocus and monotasking is seriously important ability to have when you're selecting those tasks, when you're selecting those implementations and those strategies. You want those strategies and implementations to attack two or more purposes, or you might consider leaving them off your strategic master plan. Your life itself is a masterpiece. If you're not doing art, you're not doing anything. And if you're not in line and full of love and full of that higher power and higher IQ, you're not close. Big hugs. I'll see you out there in this glorious fight of life where gratitude is everything, and you've got so much more than most. right? Hua, thank you.